Okay, guys, I'm going to take a minute here and try to explain what I do whenever I answer your questions. And you'll see me look my eyes around, especially up to the side and over. Really, I'm trying to look up at the ceiling and not focus on something. Because what I do really is I look at things from the outside in. Whereas most people, I think, look at things from the human out, so to speak. And I go from the outside in. It's really hard for me to stay and look at it from the human body perspective. I tend to wander out of the human body and look at things from the other side, so to speak. So I'm looking down at the bigger picture. So I tend to get more snappish, or maybe appear more agitated when questions are more specific to someone's actual day-to-day life, because I am looking at the big picture, and I'm also looking at it from infinite timelines and infinite aspects of you that you're switching around on too, that's really hard to explain, and I haven't figured out a way how to explain the infinite aspects of you, but when I figure out how to say it and explain it, I will. But until then, I don't know how to explain that. It's just, I think it's too complicated or too complex, or there's nothing like it here that I can draw an analogy from to explain it. But I am looking from the outside in, so I don't do things like, well, are you going to meet Mr. Perfect, or will you win the lotto? Because there are infinite timelines and you can do anything. So it all depends upon what you focus on, and that could change from the moment that I'm talking to you. A second later, you can be on a different timeline. So certainly you can have anything you want, if you focus on it correctly. But that's a little bit tricky with the belief systems that you are raised with. So whenever I'm looking at things from the outside in, I'm looking at the whole you, the you that you came from the other side, the you that is all the higher selves, that hierarchy of higher selves that I was talking about. I'm looking at you from a perspective of your past, what you believe is your past, and that one's a solid. I can do that easily, because people's pasts are really ingrained in their minds. That vibration is like a wall. So that's really easy to do. It's easy to do your past. It's super hard to do your future, because there are infinite options on that. As long as you're talking to me, I can do a pretty good job of guessing about what you're going to do, because that narrows it down on the infinite timeline business. But the second you're not listening to me anymore, then you've gone off to other timelines. Nothing's wrong with that. If you lose track of me, don't panic or anything. That just means that I may have sped up. You may have veered off. It doesn't matter. There's a whole bunch of different ways that can happen. So when you see my eyes dart around, especially if I'm thinking of a certain question, like if it's a question about the world, like have I seen this vibration on the planet, or I'll sometimes scan the planet. I'll sometimes scan this creation, this whole creation. So that takes me a few seconds sometimes whenever I'm doing that. A lot of the other stuff I can do instantly, but some of the bigger looking arounds that I do, it'll take a few seconds, and I'll tend to dart my eyes around. Looks kind of weird, I think. I've watched the videos, some of them, and yeah, I can look kind of weird. But that's what I'm doing, and that's how it happens. I'm looking from a bigger picture from the outside in. And to find the answer, or to maybe try to figure out a better way of explaining it to you guys. I don't know if this explanation helps in your asking questions or understanding my answers, but hopefully it will give you a better idea. I think most people that you talk to, maybe channelers and new agers and stuff, most of the time, what I see from a channeler is the energy goes from the person who's talking to the channeler up to the channeler, and then they ask questions of the channeler, and then the channeler answers from their perspective. The trouble is, I don't think a lot of people know where that channeler is, and I think that's a big issue with channelers. Not that any of them are bad, they're not. If you've asked them a question, you've vibrated appropriately and you want that answer, so listen to the answer. It may get you to a place where you're no longer listening to the channeler, but that doesn't mean anything's gone wrong. It just means that you figured out where that channeler is now, and you don't need their help anymore. You can get that information yourself. Okay? Does that make any sense? Well, I hope it does. Hope it does. Okay. So, yeah. I'll just end it at that. And, don't know how else to explain it. Whereas, you know, the person that talks to a channeler, they go from in out, and I go out in, which is why I have so much trouble with the human body, because I don't focus on it as much as I probably should. I'm trying to do better with that, but I don't focus on it's very easy for me to slip away with questions and talking to you guys and not be in my human form, and I need to do that more and take care of this body more. So I'm working on that. You guys send me your love, okay? Alright guys, that's it for this one, and I'll talk to you later. Big hugs. Bye now.